Hi, my name is nallely Alveraz,
And I'm Brittney Hernandez.
and today we're going to talk about light reactions of photosynthesis.
Light reaction is a reaction which occurs as the first phase of photosynthesis in which energy in the form of light is absorbed and converted to chemical energy in the form of ATP.
Photosystems are a group of photosynthetic pigments, including chlorophyll, embedded within the thylakoid membrane. A photosystem is a biochemical mechanism in plants by which chlorophyll absorbs light energy for photosynthesis.
Photosystems are classified according to their maximal absorption wavelengths. Photosystem 1 is 700, photosystem 2 is 680.
When a photosystem absorbs light energy, electrons within the pigments become excited. Light energy is a kind of kinetic energy with the ability to make up types of light visible to human eyes.
These excited electrons are transferred to carrier molecules within the thylakoid membrane. Thylakoid membrane are bound compartments inside chloroplast. They are the site of the light-dependent reactions of photosynthesis.
Excited electrons from photosystem 2 are transferred to an electron transport chain within the thylakoid membrane. Electron transport chain transfers electrons from electron donors to electron acceptors.
As the electrons are passed through the chain, they lose energy, which is used to translocate hydrogen ions into the thylakoid membrane.
This buildup of protons within the thylakoid creates an electrochemical gradient, also known as proton motive force.
The hydrogen ions return to the stroma along the proton gradient via the transmembrane enzymes ATP synthase, also known as the chemiosmosis. Chemiosmosis is the movement of ions across a semipermeable membrane down their electrochemical gradient.
ATP synthase uses the passage of hydrogen ions to catalyze the synthesis of ATP from ADP plus PI.
This process is called photophosphorylation, as light provided the initial energy source for ATP production.
After this, the newly de-energized electrons from photosystem 2 are taken up by photosystem 1.
Excited electrons from photosystem 1 may be transferred to a carrier molecule and used to reduce NADP+.
This forms NADPH, which is needed in conjunction with ATP for the light-independent reactions.
The electrons lost from photosystem 1 are replaced by de-energized electrons from photosystem 2.
And the electrons lost from photosystem 2 are replaced by
Water is split by light energy into hydrogen ions used in chemiosmosis and oxygen.
Overall, the summary of light-dependent reactions is the light-dependent reactions occur within the inner membrane space of the thylakoids.
Chlorophyll in photosystem 1 and 2 absorb light, which triggers the release of high-energy electrons.
Excited electrons from photosystem 2 are transferred between carrier molecules in an electron transport chain.
The electron transport chain translocates hydrogen ions from the stroma to within the thylakoid, creating a proton gradient.
The protons are returned to the stroma via ATP synthase, which uses their passage via chemiosis to synthesize ATP.
Excited electrons from photosystem 1 are used to reduce NADP+, forming NADPH.
The electrons lost from photosystem 1 are replaced by de-energized electrons from photosystem 2.
The electrons lost from photosystem 2 are replaced following the photolysis of water.
And finally, the products of light-dependent reactions, ATP and NADPH, are used in the light-independent reactions. Lastly, here is our works cited page for which we got the information.
And this concludes our light-dependent reactions on photosynthesis.